What is up, you guys? I am back. And as you can see, I took all of your not so kind suggestions in my comment section and I immediately bought a mic stand. That was already my plan. I already wanted to get one, but I was impatient. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. So, I don't know. I just filmed without it, and trust me, okay, maybe I shouldn't have opened the balcony door. You guys, I was trying to decide if I wanted to open the balcony door. Hopefully you guys can't hear that just because I have the muffin here with me, of course. But she's going crazy on a pumpkin right now. I also have a TikTok live going. Say what's up, you guys. I figured I would have it live, so just so you guys know, I'm going to probably do that more in the future. If you guys are impatient, go follow me on TikTok and turn on notifications so that way, there she is. If you're watching this, you can see. That way you can watch it as it's happening, as my amazing people here are doing. But as you guys can see in the title, I have a really Muffy. You're not gonna pant in the mic. Okay. Anyway, as you can see by the title, I have a fun video. One I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I was thinking about all of the many, many, many places I've traveled in the last 2 years, and all of the crazy shit that's happened on almost every one of those trips. I mean, not almost every one. I mean, I've been a lot of places, but I do have a list right here. And on this list, I have 14. And that's the crazy thing, because these were just like the ones with the really bad stories. I left out a lot of trips. And as you can see also, I put no notes for this video. No notes, because that's how much like I can look at this place and immediately know what the horror story was. Honestly, I also have great memories from all of these places. I don't regret going to some of them. Some of them I definitely wish I didn't go to. And a lot of them, the majority of them, were like influencer trips. And I'm sure you guys have heard on TikTok a lot of horror stories about influencer trips. And yeah, they're true. That happens. And I'm going to spill the tea today. I'm going to tell you guys, because honestly, I don't really talk to any of these people anymore anyway. And who cares? So I initially was going to go in order of least bad to worst. But then I was like, no, because people just skip to the end of the video. So instead, I'm going to go in order of like timeline, like when they happened. So starting off, this was actually when COVID hit. So I don't remember what year it was when COVID hit, but I know I was in my junior year of college at the time. So I went to college back in upstate New York, and super small college. I went to Brockport, if you've ever heard of it, by Rochester. And me, my girl, my roommate, and her boyfriend, and this like guy I was talking to, and like our other friend, and like this random girl he was bringing. It was like 6 of us. We were all going to go on spring break to Myrtle Beach for our spring break at college. And I don't even need this now. We were all going to go on spring break to college to Myrtle Beach. Now, this guy that I was talking to, he looks at my contact. I don't even care. He was batshit crazy. Like, he was insane. I never dated him. He was never my boyfriend. It was like someone that I just would hang around us in our friend group. And he was cute. He was like cool, Muffy. Maybe I should just let her up here with me. I don't know. He was cool. He was cute at first. And I don't know. He was just around, so we would hang out. Hold on. Oh my God. Get up here. But like, be chill. Don't be like crazy. Do you guys think she's gonna be chill? Anyway, so we all had this spring break planned, and right before, like literally 2 days, maybe even the day before spring break, we were supposed to leave and drive there because we were driving, not flying. We all find out about this like COVID outbreak and get emails saying that school is like closing down for like a week or 2 weeks or whatever it was when they first announced it to us. And honestly, we were all excited. We're like, okay, cool. We have no classes for a couple weeks. We're about to leave on spring break. Like, this is really awesome. So we were all about it and ready. And we actually had a few more people that were supposed to go with us, but they backed out because of the COVID thing. And we were like, duh, that's so dumb. Like, what? This is nothing. So we end up going. The guy that I was talking to ends up like fully crashing out the morning we were supposed to leave because he was just like super just like a narcissistic guy. And he just like crashed out. I don't know why. And was like, I'm not going. He wanted me to like beg him to go with us. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to. Like, it would probably be more fun if you didn't actually come with. So he didn't come with. And we all drive there. It's good. It's fine. We're having a good time. And then once we get there, he's like, I want to come. I should have come. Like, I regret not coming. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know why you didn't come either. Like, it made no sense. I was like, I don't know why you didn't come. And he was like, Muffy is really such an attention whore. He was like, okay, I'm coming. Like, I'm gonna drive there. And I was like, okay, if you want to drive here, go for it. Like, that's up to you. Like, I don't know. So he drove there. Literally we drove overnight, I think. And by the morning, he was already on his way there himself. I'm like, you're so dramatic because why didn't you just ride with us? But in hindsight, it worked out that way. So we're there. We're having like an okay time, but I think like right away, right off the bat, me and him were not getting along. This is like the most toxic, whatever you want to call it, of my life. Not getting along. We were like getting fights. He was like he like would drink so much and like get really like aggressive and crazy when he was drunk. So he would like get so drunk, and one of these nights he got so drunk, and I don't even know what transpired it, but he got like so drunk and was crashing out, and he was like, so-and-so talking about my roommate stole from me. Like, she stole my gardening stuff. Muffy, you can't be in the thing. And I was like, what? Like, what? What are you talking about? Because, like, we would all, garden together on a daily basis. So it's like, if like, one of us used one of the others, like, I don't feel like it was even a big deal to begin with. But it was just, like, super weird. He was just like going insane. I don't know. But in my like stupid head, like I low-key was like taking his side because this guy like got really, I like was so manipulated by this guy like the whole time we talked, and I was like, I don't know, like he was like freaking out, so I just like didn't want to make the situation worse. So I just said nothing, I guess, in this situation. So he ends up getting in a big fight with my roommate, which keep in mind we're like all really close friends. So, like, he gets in a big fight with my roommate. They're, like, screaming at each other. He's, like, calling her names, I think, like, saying all these terrible things to her. And I'm just, like, what is happening? Like, she's saying to me, she's like, you need to, like, not talk to him. Like, he's insane. And I knew in my head he was insane, but I don't know why. I was just, like, I don't know. So there was this big thing. And then, that night, her and her man end up, my roommate and her boyfriend, who's actually now her husband, they end up like getting in their car and driving home. So it actually worked out that we had two cars because there was such a ginormous fight. And also that entire time during our trip, everything was closed down because COVID hit like hard as hell at that time. So when we got there, we were like, oh, because everything was already, like everything was closing, all the food places, everything. So we just kind of like hung out at the beach and whatever, but it did not end on a good note. It ended in when we got back, they ended up saying like, oh, there's actually no more classes for the rest of the semester. So I ended up having to like go and unpack I was like, okay, I'm moving home because like things didn't work out. Things were not in a good place with me and my roommate. Obviously after that, things were just like a complete mess. He was like in a big fight with her. It was just this whole thing. So I ended up like going back home, packing up my apartment of my stuff, and just like going back home to New York until the next semester of school. To this day, this guy will like still follows me on Instagram and will like hit me up and be like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, no, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not going to happen. That was actually a pretty mild one. That was honestly before I started going around serious people with issues. But that was the first story. That was like back like when I didn't really travel, and where I was just like, okay, you got to be careful with who you travel with and who you go on trips with. So fast forward to let's fast forward to when I get into social media, because that's when I really started to travel and when shit started to really hit the fan and get crazy. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of summer shredding. It's basically an event that happens every July and every October at Elfland in Texas. And it's basically a bodybuilding show that goes on for like a weekend, like a Saturday and Sunday. But more than that, I think it's more so like an event that influencers go to, fitness people go to, just to kind of network, connect with each other, etc.
Let me make sure this is still okay.
So I had been to summer shredding one time, or wait, that wasn't summer shredding. So yeah, no, I had never been to summer shredding. I had been to one fitness trip, retreat, whatever you want to call it, in Tampa before I moved to Florida. And that was actually a really good trip. I really enjoyed that trip. I guess you kind of have to know about the trip to hear about this trip, because on that trip I met this guy. I showed up. I didn't know anybody on this first trip to summer shredding, or on this first fitness retreat in Tampa. I didn't know anybody. I just like got a call from somebody and they were like, we're throwing this fitness retreat. It's like 3 different houses of all these fitness influencers. We've got the whole weekend planned and it'll be really fun. And I was like just dipping my toe into the social media industry. So I was like, okay, this is like a good opportunity for me to go and network with other people. And at the time I was like making good money. So like I had to pay to go on this trip. So I was like, that's fine. Like I will do it. So I go on this trip. I find out like who's in my house. There's like a mix of guys and girls. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. Then I get there and the 3 other girls that were supposed to be in my house, like one of them showed up and then her like grandfather died. So she like had to turn around and leave. And then 2 of them like backed out. So it ended up being me in a house with like 6 or 7 guys and then this like adult man who was like kind of running the retreat. And I was like, okay, I can work with this, because luckily I'm not like, I'm like outgoing, I'm fine, whatever. But also like, what if I was like super shy and like uncomfortable? Like, luckily I was just like, you know, I have my own room at least, like it'll be fine. And it was fine. But on this trip, of course, like I got close with one of the guys in the house. And I won't even go into too much detail about what this guy did, etc., because it would give away so much information about him. Honestly, I think he's like off the face of the earth now. I don't even know if he does social media or anything. But let's call this guy Aaron. So I got really close with Aaron on this trip because we were just like we were living at the same house over the weekend, filming content together and like doing all of the events together. We did like paintball and like all these different things. So we got close. Like in like a, definitely like a, you know, romantic way. But then I left the retreat and, you know, we texted a little bit, but he kind of stopped talking to me and I was like, okay, like I remember kind of like being like a little like, damn, I thought he was super cool, but whatever. I was focused on my own thing. I was getting ready to move to Miami. So I start YouTube. I get ready to go to Miami. Someone in my life sent me a corgi. They love Muffy. Thank you. But oh my god, I lost my train of thought. Fuck, the corgi distracted me because you're so cute, Muffy. Okay. So me and Aaron, we get close, whatever. We're doing like all these events together. We kind of stop talking. I get my apartment in Miami. I move out to Miami. Now, I move out to Miami in September, okay? The next summer shredding was in October, and I was like, I definitely want to go because the last one was like the last fitness event I went to was so fun, and I'd never been to summer shredding, and I got invited to go by some of the people that I met on the first event, and they were like, we're getting an Airbnb, like it'll be really fun. So I was like, okay, cool. And then someone told me that Aaron was going to also be coming and staying in Airbnb, but he was like van living, so he was like gonna be like staying in his van, but he was gonna be like parking at our Airbnb. So I was like, okay, honestly, I was like excited. I was like in my Miami era, my confidence was up. I was like, I'm about to see Aaron, like this is gonna be fun, like I couldn't wait. So it's like a little, you know, it's like a tiny mini summer camp, right? So I get to the villa the first day of summer shredding in October. I'm so excited to see like people that I knew from social media and like people that I never met and then people that I met in the first trip. So we have like an Airbnb of maybe like 10 people, but we had a lot of friends that were in other Airbnbs. So like we were all kind of connected. We just had like people in Airbnb and then like other Airbnbs. So we had our Airbnb. I'm there. I'm excited to see Aaron. I'm seeing my girls. I'm like just having a blast the first day, right? I don't know at what point Aaron gets there, but I know at some point Aaron gets there. And now at another point, I knew the names of the people staying in our house, and I knew there was like one or two people that I didn't know who they were. And maybe I looked them up on social media before, but I was like, I don't know. But one guy walks in and I was like, who's that? Like, who's that? Because he was like super attracted to me. So I was like, whoa, like more attractive than Aaron. I'll just clock the T. And more my type. Just more of like a manly man. Looking back, Aaron was not my type. I don't know what the frick I was doing. So I was like, okay. I think he's cute, but whatever. Like, I know Aaron's gonna be here. Like, what am I, like, what? So what would I do? So right away, this other guy, let's call this other guy, what would I remember? Aaron and Blake. Let's call him Blake. So right away, Blake is being like super flirty with me. Like, he is a confident guy. Like, he did not hesitate to make any, like to be forward with me. But I was playing it so dumb because obviously at some point Aaron showed up. And right away, I'm telling you guys, right away, Aaron is like acting like we're like, like together. Like, he's like, okay, like whatever, complimenting me, like, or not complimenting me actually. Like, he was just like right away, like acting like we're like, I'm sleeping in your room tonight. Cause obviously he was sleeping in a van. It was like me on Temptation Island. Like, he just wanted to sleep in my bed, honestly, probably. But I was in like hook up. But I was like, honestly, whatever. Like, it had only been a few months. So I was like, maybe like we'll see how the weekend goes. But like, so obviously me and Aaron were like picking up where we left off in a way. But he was always like this, like so focused on like social media and like work and like his Airbnb and like all these things. Bless him. Like, he was a working man. I can't even sit here and shade him for that. But he was like so hyper focused on work, but honestly to the point where he was like not including himself in the group at all and like not doing things with us. Like, we would make plans to like go to a pool or like to go hit a workout together and stuff, and he would be like, no, I have stuff to do on my laptop, and like not come. And I'm like, okay, you're not even like hanging out with me at all on this trip. Like, he wasn't complimenting me. Like, he wasn't doing these little things, whereas this other guy, Blake, was really putting the moves on me at this point. And I was like, the mic is on. It is. Don't scare me in the live, you guys. Sorry, you guys. But I was like starting, and like my girls, like I had a couple of my girls on this trip, and they were like in the fitness industry. Shout out Taylor. I freaking love Taylor. But she was on this trip, and she was like, girl, like, drop Aaron. Blake is hotter, and he is obviously into you. And I was like, are you joking? Like, we're all... Like, yeah, he's staying in his van, but, like, he had stayed in my room. Like, no, I don't think anything happened. I think we, like, kissed, but, like, he had stayed in my bedroom the first night he had stayed there. So this was, like, the second day, and they were all like, drop him. He's not hanging out with us. He's not being nice. He's not talking to you. Like, this other guy really wants you. And I'm like, no, dude, like, we're all kind of staying, like, at the same villa. Like, how uncomfortable would that be? It's just, I just have to, like, lay in the bed that I made and deal with it. And just like, whatever. So, like, my friends are telling me to, like, drop Aaron. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then it comes to the point where, like, I remember I was, like, hanging out. And this Blake comes up to me and he's like, let's just be real here. And I was like, what? Like, I'm still playing dumb. Like, he had been texting me little flirty things, like, the first night. And, like, stuff like that. Being like, get a shot for me. Like, stuff like that. Where I was like, okay, he's definitely flirting with me. But he was like, let's be honest. He was like, I'm feeling you. You're feeling me. Like, what is going on? Like, what's the problem? I'm like, what the problem is. Like, I obviously, have been like kind of hanging out with this Aaron kid. And he's like, so, like, it is so, like, me and this kid were in the pool, and this Aaron kid is like, God knows where. So he was like, where is he at? Like, he's not hanging out with you at all, like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's still just like very uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. And I don't know, then the whole and he was like, no, I don't know. I was just like, no. So then, like, the rest of that day, like, this guy was like, we were hanging out, and Aaron was nowhere to be found. Like, nowhere to be found. We were all, like, pre-gaming to go out that night. If you go to summer shredding, you know, like, we all go out to the club in Houston. So we were all pre-gaming, and Aaron is, like, at someone else's Airbnb pre-gaming. Like, other like, fitness people houses, like, pre-gaming. And we're like, and well, not we're, but like me and the girls are like, okay, so you're not even like making any attempt to hang out with me. So why am I feeling so guilty when there's a guy that I find really attractive that I think was so sweet, like so nice, and is really interested in me, just for this guy that I like hung out with a few months ago, like for 2 days. So I don't know. It was obviously a sticky situation for me. So I was like, I don't know. So that night, we all go to the club. I think we were at like Heart. I think that's like the name of the club in Houston. We go to the club, and keep in mind, Aaron wasn't with us. Like, he went with a whole other group. Blake is with me, and Blake is all up on me. Like, Blake is feeling me. We're pre-gaming. And I'm like, honestly, low-key happy at this point that Aaron's not with us. Because I'm like, honestly, you. Like, I will hang out with Blake. Little do you know, I'm hanging out with Blake. Like, Aaron had no idea that Blake was about to come in and steal his girl. Like, he had no idea. He thought he was about to run into me in the club, because that's what happened. So I'm at the club. Aaron gets there, and he comes up to me, and he's drunk, which I never like really seen him drunk. And he's like, you look so good, complimenting me for the first time, like, since the whole trip. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just turned off. I have the ick by Aaron, because I'm like, Blake came in and did what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, if he won't, another man will. So I was like, I don't know. And Taylor, my friend Taylor, is just like, no. And he's just like talking. I don't know. I'm just like not about it. I go off and I'm like, where's Blake at? I'm talking to Blake. I'm at this point, you guys, like, we're all pretty drunk. We're all drinking. We're having a great time. I'm sitting on Blake's lap. Okay. So at this point, I kind of was like drinking, and I was like, I don't even care. Like, if any point is a good time to like rip the Band-Aid, right now is the time. We're all drinking. We're all at the club. Like, someone has to let this man know what's going on, right? At the very least. I don't think I owe him loyalty, but I at least owe him a little bit of respect. So he doesn't like make a fool of himself, which ultimately this didn't work. So I'm sitting on Blake's lap, and Aaron, I still to this day don't know what was going through his head. I think he was truly this drunk. I don't think he drinks very often, and I don't think he should. But he came up to me and starts like whispering in my ear and trying to flirt with me while I'm on Blake's lap, and actually gets to the point where he's trying to grab my hand and pull me off of Blake. And he's like, come on with me, come with me, come with me. Sir, this is what I mean by he did not choose to have self-respect in this moment when he could have. Because at this point, you've done no effort to really, like, impress me. You just thought you could just hop right back in. I don't know. I guess I did give that impression. The first day I did not stand on business because I didn't know things were going to go this type of way. So I am in awe. I'm in shock, and I'm really uncomfortable. Like, I was drunk, and that sobered me up because I was just like, what's happening right now? What is happening right now? And I was telling him no. I was like, oh my God, I almost said actually the name. I was like, Aaron, no. Like, this is like, no. And by the grace of God, my friend Taylor is standing right there, and she's seeing all this happen, and she grabs him, and she's like, Aaron, come here. Like, literally like his mother. I remember this. This is a few years ago. She's like, come here. And she tells me this story after. I hear her say that. And I guess she pulls him aside and is like, Aaron, Kay is with Blake now. You need to accept it, and you need to leave her alone, because what you're doing right now is really embarrassing. And she just clocked the T. She's from Georgia, baby. She is honest and sweet, and she's just the best person to deliver that type of news. So I was really grateful, because at that point he left us alone for that moment, but that didn't last, unfortunately. He again had the opportunity to choose peace, and he did not. So we decide a little bit after this, it's time to go home, because things got really awkward. It was a hostile situation, you guys. Very uncomfortable. So we decided, hey, let's get back to the house. Let's get Blake in my bedroom because we knew that Aaron was going a little cuckoo right now, and we feared that he would come home and even though he had his own van, like, he would come home and try and get in my bed. And I was like, after the, like, crazy shit that just happened at the club, like, that's just, like, I'm just, like, would rather us just get to the house first. At the very least, I will go sleep with Blake, like, in Blake's room, which Blake was sharing a room with our other friend. So, like, it wasn't like that. It was genuinely just, like, I don't want him in my room. Like, he didn't, like, pay to be in this Airbnb also. Keep in mind, like, we just told him he could park at our Airbnb. So it's, like, he didn't have any right to, like, even just, like, be sleeping there if it wasn't, like, me inviting him in there. So that's kind of why we were like, but he was, like, going off the rocker a little bit. So we're like, let's just get back there first. The vibe is over at this point. So we get into our Uber, which is like a minivan, like 3 rows, because we had a lot of people. Now, do we invite Aaron to come in the Uber with us? Of course not. Things were very uncomfortable and awkward at that point, and Brad, or whatever, I said his name was Brad, I was like, no way he's coming in this Uber with us, like, no. Now, instead of just getting his own Uber or riding with someone else, he comes up to our Uber, which, keep in mind, guys, this is very out of character for this guy. Like, he isn't, like, a confrontational guy. So it was very, like, shocking to all of us. Because he comes up to our van and starts, like, pounding on the window, being like, let me in, come on, like, let me go, like, let me in. And we're like, no, like, we don't think that's a good idea. Like, this just isn't a good idea. And we leave. Now, the story doesn't even end there. We get back to the house. Now, I decided at this point to just go upstairs in the room with Brad and our other friend. Because I was like, this way, it's not just me and Brad. There's the other friend in here. Like, it's not shady, but it's also like, he has no right to come into that room at the very least. Because I knew he, like, left some of his stuff in my room. So I was like, I'm not going to be a bitch. Like, honestly, I'm going to let him sleep in this room if he wants to. And it wasn't just me. It was me, and my friend was also in that room with, like, she had her own bed. But I was like, whatever, like, I don't want to sleep in here. I'm going to go sleep upstairs with Brad and our other friend. So I went upstairs to Brad's room. We hear him come in, and I've also heard from other people. He comes in, immediately, like, goes into my room, sees that I'm not in there, and then goes up to Brad's room, because he knew it was where Brad was staying, and we hear him. I'm up in the room, and we hear him, like, trying to get in, like, trying to open the door. And we're all sitting there like, if the door is open, what were you gonna do? I just don't understand. What were you gonna say? Like, we're all, like, in bed, like, in the dark. Like, I don't know what he was gonna do. Thank God the door was shut. And he starts, like, knocking on the door. Like, we're all just ignoring it. We're just like, what is going on? He ends up going into my room, getting into bed with my friend, which, like, it's not like I'm offended for that reason. It's just, like, insane because my friend was not interested. Gets in bed with my friend, starts, like, talking all this shit about me to one of my best friends at the time, and asking her if she wants to hook up. She declines. He gets into my bed and blacks out there. I fall asleep. I wake up. Sunny morning. Yay, we're in Houston. Another day of summer shredding. I'm so excited, right? And I go downstairs to go into my room to start getting ready for the day. And I open my door. And I see Aaron's in my bed. Or no, let me backtrack. Before I even get to my room, my friend comes out of the room and says, last night Aaron came into bed with me, told me all this shit about you, all this stuff you said, all these things, and then tried to hook up with me. And he's sleeping in your bed right now. Baby. I went into that room. You guys, I don't like to crash out and I don't like to be confrontational. But when I tell you guys I went into that room, I think it was double doors because I really remember having my moment. Flung open that door. He was blacked out. He looked like shit. I shook his leg to make sure, like, to wake him up. Till he's like, ooh, looking so stupid. Doesn't know where the fuck he's at. And I look at him and I'm like, get the fuck out of my bed. And I just turn around and I walk out. Then I go to my friends. They're like, we're going to go get Starbucks. I'm like, this is a good idea. Let me get out of the house. Let's go get Starbucks. And when I get back, he better be gone. We go to get Starbucks. I'm hearing all these stories, telling my two friends, my two really good friends that just got engaged, that like they were like the mom and dad of the group, so they didn't know any of this, and they're just like, ah. And we're driving. I'm telling them everything that happened the night prior, so they're caught up on the tea because they're staying in the house with us. But like I said, they're like the mom and dad, so I'm telling them everything. Tell me when I get back to the house with my iced mocha, oat milk shaken macchiato with caramel and cinnamon, and trying to move up past the drama of the morning, and that motherfucker is still passed out in my bed. You guys, I was so mad. Because if you heard all the things he was saying and everything, like, it's not even that he got in bed with my friend. It was all the things he was saying to my friend and all this. And I'm like, why are you so mad? Like, you caused the whole scene last night. You haven't tried to hang out with me at all. Like, I didn't do anything to you. Like, we told you what was good. Like, why are you acting like such a diva right now? It just made no sense. I punch him in the leg. Not punch. I wasn't being abusive, but he wasn't waking up. So I'm like literally like having to like, you know, beat him down a little bit to get him to wake up. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my bed. I better see you out of this bed in 2 minutes, or I will drag you out of bed. Like, I don't remember what I said. I know I went off. At this point, everyone's awake and everyone's hearing me crash out. The first time, some people were sleeping. The second time, everyone knew what was going on. So he's, you know, and I feel bad looking at the situation because that's embarrassing. Like, that's embarrassing to be kicked out of anywhere. And I would not want that to be me. And I can't believe we're 30 minutes in and I'm like only on the freaking second story. I'm going to wrap this up here. Okay, so I basically threw him out. He creeps out. He gets in his van. He leaves, and he's never to be seen again. I've never seen him again. I think he like deactivated Instagram after that. I'm so dead serious. Like, he has never been seen in the fitness industry after that I recall. If you're watching this, Aaron, I apologize that things went down the way that they did, but like, also, what was that? And Blake is my homie. Blake, I can't give too much information. We have a good friendship. I want to emphasize it's not Dima. I already can like see the rumors of it being Dima. It's not Dima. Oh my God. But we're great friends, and we actually went to the next summer shredding together, which that is going to come later. I have a little quick story about that. I really need to go quicker. So that was summer shredding October. Next, I need to like pick the best ones because I'm realizing that like the crazy ones I'm going to be talking a lot about. Okay, that one I can definitely skip. That one's bad. Okay. So let's talk about when I went to Hawaii for the first time. This was not a good trip. If I could go back, this is one of those trips that I would actually have not taken, which is really crazy to think about. Like, my first trip to Hawaii, if I could go back, I would not have gone. It was so not fun overall. Like, I don't know. It was just not fun. But let me give you a little backstory. So I had gone to Africa 2 years ago at this time. So 1 year ago at this time, I was in Hawaii for Temptation Island. 2 years ago at this time, I was in Africa. So I spent a month in Zambia, Africa with my friend. That actually didn't even make the list. Can you believe? Like, I was in Africa for a month and that didn't make the list because that's how, like, no drama there was on my trip to Africa. But I came home from Africa a couple days sooner than I initially planned to. Like, when I was planning the trip to Africa, I planned to stay like till the very end of the month, but I was like, let me actually come home a couple days early because I got invited to this trip to Hawaii. And now like this trip was like with girls that like they were like influencers. So I hadn't done that before. So I was like, okay, this is like, I really don't want to miss out on this trip. I guess the Africa trip was with influencers and summer shredding was influencers, but like this was like all girl influencers. And I was like, I really want to go. I feel like it's like just like it'd be good to go and like meet people and connect with other girls in the industry. So I didn't want to miss out. So I decided to take a couple days off of my trip from Africa, come home, and within 24 hours I was flying to Hawaii. So this trip also, I had like one girl on this trip who I'm still really good friends with, so like no beef towards her, really good friends with her, but I was good friends with her, but like besides that, I had like known some of these girls, but like some girls I didn't know at all, and some girls I had just like knew a little bit. So I was like, had really high hopes going in. So I went on this trip. I think I flew maybe with my one friend. But the trip to, like, the flight to Hawaii from Miami is long, if you guys don't know this. So, like, that's why I don't like going to Hawaii, because it's not that crazy to me. And, oh my God, my, like, extensions this time, I feel like I've had, like, a lot of, like, shedding. I don't know. Maybe it's a me. But I had this long ass flight, as it always is, like, and that's why I don't really like to go. So I fly to Hawaii, and right away there's like weirdness, because like my friend was like, do you mind if I stay in a room with like my other friend, and like you can stay with like these other like couple girls? And I was like, okay, I don't know these girls, but like that's fine. It gives me an opportunity to like get close to new girls. Like, no worries, like you stay with her, because she was also like with a guy at the time. So she was like, her and her boyfriend were going to stay with her one friend. And I was like, go ahead, I'll stay with these girls. It'll be good. So I go, it's so hard for me to talk about this trip, because I am like good friends with a lot of these girls in Hawaii. So I don't want people to think I'm talking about them if I'm not talking about them. Cause a couple of these girls on the trip I got really close with, and like I'm still friends with to this day. But right away there was just like a divide in the group of girls, because when we got to the hotel, a couple of the girls, something, I still to this day I'm not sure, something like fell through with their room, something didn't work out with their room, and then like the one friend I was close to, they like didn't like their room, so they were all like stuck without a room basically, and we had our room, and then like my one friend and her boyfriend had their room. So there was like a few of us, and then the other group that like didn't have rooms, I guess, they decided to like go stay at a hotel like a mile down the street. So it already like messes with things, because like first of all, that's like my closest friend on this trip, and like now, like, yeah, it's only a mile down the street, but like it's going to affect everything, right? So I was like, okay, whatever, like everything happens for a reason. But it was just very weird, and it was like, this is a sticky one to talk about. There was just like a lot of drama, because there was just such a divide between the two groups, and like the one group would like not answer the other group, and then like the one group would be like, why aren't they answering us? And then I'd be like, well obviously like they don't want to hang out, and then like they are doing their own thing. And then it's like, it was just like drama and like stress, I feel like, the whole time, where I left that trip and I was like, sayonara, like not ever again, like this is just not, you know, like there's some people that you're friends with but you don't travel with type thing. And this was just one of those situations where I was just like, this was just like a mess from start to finish. And also I have one really good she was a really good friend. I haven't talked to her in so long, but like adore her. She's incredible, but she's from Hawaii. So the best thing about my trip to Hawaii was she was showing us all this stuff on North Shore. But the thing is, North Shore was like 45 minutes from where we were staying, and we didn't have a car. So every day we were renting a car, driving 45 minutes to North Shore, doing something, driving 45 minutes home. So it was just like a lot of time spent in the car. It was just like not a trip that I would do again, honestly. Yeah, that was just like just not a good trip. So next, after that one, we fast forward to July of the following year, because I went to Africa in May, and then I went to Hawaii in June, and then summer shredding came around again in July. Now this one wasn't as crazy, so this one we can keep it more short. But this year for summer shredding, it was Brad. He was going to be in the house. A few other people that I like was always like in Airbnbs with, like a couple of my friends. We were all down to get an Airbnb together. Brad was there, and then Brad was like, I have this friend that, like, this girl, we're gonna need to name her. Let's call her Sam. I have this friend that wants to come. Her name is Sam, and and I was like, okay, I know Sam. Like, I follow her on Instagram, and she follows me. I've never met her in person. Or I had met her in person at the first summer shredding I went to, briefly. Like, very quickly, we met at the gym at Alpha Land. So I, like, knew of her. We followed each other on Instagram. So I was like, for sure, definitely invite her. This is awesome. I'm excited to meet her. It'll be great. So we get there. I'm super excited. We all meet at the airport, like me, Brad, whatever. And I'm like wondering, I'm like, is Brad gonna like try and spark things up with me again? Because after Aaron left, like me and Brad were like BF and GF. Like we were like, perfect. Aaron's gone. Like we had our little fling, and then like we left and we talked a lot during that time. But it just like he wanted to go somewhere. Oh my goodness, Effie. It didn't go somewhere. We remained really good friends. Like I was not in the place for a relationship. Like I don't know. But we were super good friends, so I was excited to see him. Didn't know what was going to happen with that. I was also celibate at this time, I think. Was I celibate at this time? Yes, I was. Yes, I had to have been. So anyway, we get there, I meet Sam, and I'm like, oh, she seems so cool. Like, this is going to be really fun. I was really excited for the summer shredding because I had known so many more people in the fitness industry. So there were so many more people that I was going to see that, like, I hadn't seen since October. So we get there. This one's honestly just, like, funny. Honestly, like, a funny horror story because it, like, isn't really me. But we get there, and I am in my bedroom that I picked out with like one of the other girls, and I'm unpacking my stuff, going through my stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just like chit-chatting with one of my girlfriends that I hadn't seen. The same girlfriend that actually bitched out Aaron. Like she was with me through all of these too. Like fucking love her. So we're just catching up. We're talking, and I get a text message, and I look at my phone, and it's Sam. And Sam texts me, and she's like, "Can you come into my room?" And I was like, this is super weird because I was like, she's right in the room next to me. Like, what is this about? Especially because I just met her. So it's not like we're besties, you know what I mean? So I was like, I wonder what this could be about. So I'm like, yeah, of course. So I just try and not make a scene with like the people in my room, and I just like kind of get up and excuse myself. And I go into her room, and I open the door, and Sam is sitting in bed just like sobbing. Also, I want to preface by saying like Sam has done a lot of like, she has done a lot of like messed up things to me and to other people, so I don't feel bad about this story because this does expose her, but I'm also not saying her name because I'm kind. But Sam is just sobbing in her room, and I was like, oh my god, like what happened? Like I thought someone passed away. Like I don't know, I was so nervous. I was like, we just got to the Airbnb, like we just touched down in Houston, like we're all lit, we're ready to go, and she's crying in her room, and I was like, what could have happened? And she was like, I don't remember, you know, I can't quote her, you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I come to find out that she got, like, exposed on Instagram by this influencer that I'm not even going to say his name because I have zero respect for anybody who, like, builds a living off of, like, exposing people. Like, I just think that's crazy. I don't know. I think what she was doing is crazy too, but also like I think that guy is such a dork, so I'm not going to give him any attention. But basically there's a really, really popular influencer that is known for exposing people for photoshopping their photos, and made a, you know, did an expose about her, like did a thing proving that she photoshops her stuff. Now she says, so I'm like, oh my god, like I'm sorry, like I don't know, like I'm sorry. And she's like, oh my god, like I don't even want to watch it, like I can't even watch it, this sucks, like I just got here, I'm gonna have to see all these, like think about it, everyone in the fitness industry is all touched down in Houston, like that is, I will say I did feel really bad for the girl because I was like, that is sucks that you have to face this. And you know, brands that she worked with, she was reaching out to, and I was just like, this does seem like a nightmare. So I felt bad, but she like handed me her phone, and she was like, will you go through my phone, my Instagram, and tell me anything you can tell that's photoshopped? And I was like, sure. So like I was watching her just like archive shit like crazy, and I was like, oh my god. So that's when I got my first taste of what Sam was like, and that should have been my red flag, but unfortunately I like ended up becoming close friends with her, and it did not end up well. But that's how summer shredding went that year. Me and Brad ultimately never ended up becoming anything. He is one of my good friends to this day, And funny story how we met. Like, I look back at that and I laugh. We don't talk about it ever. But he is one of my good friends. And yeah, I remember like the rest of that summer shredding being pretty good, pretty fun. I miss going to summer shredding. I haven't done that in quite a long time. Okay. Now we'll talk about this trip I took to Philadelphia. Now this trip, this involves some of the same characters, actually. Excuse me. This trip to Philadelphia, was it terrible? Like I said, all of these trips have good memories too, but there's always that underlying thing that like made these trips like stressful, it seemed. I got flown out to Philadelphia to go to this gym opening. And I was with a supplement company that I was working with at the time. And I was really excited because I actually, like, on this trip to summer shredding, when I met Sam, I had met like a bunch of people from the supplement company, including the athlete manager, and I thought they were all super cool. Like, they were all doing content, and I'm like, wait, this is this seems like a cool brand to be a part of. And at the time, I was really looking for a supplement company that was really close, as like had a close bond, rather than what they were going to pay me. I wasn't really looking for money. I was looking more for like events and like brands that like did things just to like build connections with other influencers, right? And I looked at this brand and I was like, I feel like they do a really good job at that. So after meeting all of them, after becoming friends with Sam, I was like, oh, okay, like I want to join this company, right? So I joined this supplement company. And shortly thereafter, I was really close with Sam and really close with the athlete manager. Like, we were all really close. And like shortly thereafter, they were like, oh, this gym wants to fly out a few of our athletes to just like, you know, show face at this event, whatever. So since we were already really well connected in the brand, me and Sam got invited to go. So we were like, this is so fun. Like, also, you know, I had my videographer there. Like, it was really fun. So we were like, okay, this is fun. So at this point in time, I had hung out with that group like a few times, or like one time, like in Miami, like we had all hung out, whatever. And at this point, it had been like a known thing, like past the grapevine, that someone within that company had like a really big crush on me. And I was like, not interested. And someone that was like always around. And I was like, oh, hold on, let me update my live real quick so it doesn't go away. I knew I was going to have to do this at some point. Hopefully that's good enough. Unable to verify. Try again. Okay, because these are hard. Sorry. But I knew this guy, like, he had this thing for me, and I was just really not interested. And I was like, he was going to be on this trip, and I was like, whatever. It'll be easy to just ignore. But then on this flight to Philadelphia, my girlfriend Sam was like, you don't even know the extent of this. Like, he's very, very invested in becoming something with you. And I was like, this is really inappropriate. Like, this is somebody I work with. This is just feels very weird for me. Like, she was showing me text messages his best friend was saying about, like, saying, like, how does Kay not realize? Like, how does Kay not know? And I'm like, I do. I'm actively just trying to avoid it because it's, like, really inappropriate and uncomfortable because this guy's, like, in a position of power over me, and I don't have the same feelings for him. So, and I, like, heard about this happening with, like, other influencers in the company as well. So I was just, like, really uncomfortable. And I was finding all of this out on the flight to Philadelphia. So I was like, I kind of am regretting going on this trip even to begin with. But I was like, it'll be fine. So we go on the trip. The whole time I'm just kind of like walking on eggshells, just trying to like not make much conversation with said individual. Let's name him Cameron. So I was trying to like not really talk to Cameron, like whatever. We end up going out. I like did not want to go out. I was so like, I'm not going out because I knew the whole night of me going out was going to be me avoiding Cameron. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I also like not a drinker, so I didn't want to go out in Philly. Like, I just didn't want to, but for somehow at the last second I got convinced to go out. And I'm just like drinking Red Bull. I only go because, actually now I remember, I go because it was one of my best friend's birthday that was there. And he convinced me to go. And I was like, just because it's your birthday, that's the only reason I'm going out. Like his birthday was like at midnight or something. So, or like his birthday was like the next week. We were just celebrating. I don't know, but I went. And just like I said, the whole night, Cameron's just following me around. I can't even like, girls will understand this. Like I was making sure to not even make eye contact, because when you make eye contact with a guy, like they feel like they have permission to start a conversation. So I just kept trying to avoid contact, like not sit by him. But I also had like nobody to talk to. Like I don't know anybody in Philly. Sam was off acting like a thought somewhere. Like I had no one to talk to, and we were with a small group. Like it was a small amount of us that flew out to Philly. So it was just like, and I don't drink. So everyone else was drinking, and I was just sitting there like, this is a nightmare. I should not have come. Like I was actually saying to people, I was actually being probably such a downer. I was saying like, people were like, oh, are you glad you came? I'm like, no, actually. I'm actually wish I would have stayed home. Because I was like being so bratty about not wanting to go out in the first place. Always listen to your intuition. So I remember at one point in the night, I'm in the bathroom with Sam, and I looked at her and I said, I'm sorry, but I know this has been really fun. We're saying, oh, this is going to be fun working together in the same company, but I think I'm going to have to resign because this is very uncomfortable and honestly really is crossing a line for me. I shouldn't be so uncomfortable about somebody that I'm like, is like, has like a position over me in this company. Like this is so fucked, actually. Like I was actually thinking about it, and I was like, this is so messed up, and I wanted to go out and like quit that day. I ended up just calming down because I went back to Miami, and this person doesn't live in Miami, Cameron. So like none of these people lived in Miami besides Sam. So I was like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna let it go. This is a job at the end of the day. I don't have to worry about it. Like it'll be fine. So that was Philadelphia. Ultimately, I ended up having so many more bad interactions concerning Cameron that you guys are about to hear about. So let's get into it. Excuse me, Muffy. Sorry, good girl for sleeping. This one is also a touchy one to talk about, but also like I feel like, one, these people probably don't watch my YouTube videos. Two, I think we can all agree this was a terrible trip. And three, I don't give a fuck. Like, y'all don't, I will never travel with y'all again. And I didn't. I actually stuck. Well, no, I low-key didn't. I low-key didn't stand on business with not traveling with these people again. I made the mistake one more time. So basically, I go to Philadelphia. I don't even remember what month that was in, but I know after that, shortly after that, I go to Ibiza. I think it was like September. That was around the time I went. I know it was like at the very end of like the craziness of Ibiza. So I honestly had no idea what Ibiza was all about. And that's definitely my mistake. Should I have looked into Ibiza even 1%? Had I have looked into Ibiza even 1%, I would have immediately known that I would hate that trip. And I'll explain to you why. 1, I don't drink. 2, I hate house music. 3, I hate being up late. 4, it's grimy there where we were, at least on the main strip. 5, their McDonald's sucks. All these things, like, it's just like Ibiza just isn't for me. Some people love Ibiza, and I get it. I have friends that I'm like, you would love Ibiza, babe. But that is not a place that I would ever want to go to again unless I'm like going to like somewhere else. I don't know. So for some reason though, I hear Ibiza, and I just always heard people talk about Ibiza, and the girls I went to Hawaii with, minus the couple that I love to death, unfortunately, they were smart enough not to go. They asked me if I wanted to go to Ibiza, and I always would say no. I would always tell my girl like no, like I don't want to go, and then they would convince me. They would make me feel bad into agreeing to go. And at the time I was traveling a ton, so it was nothing for me to just pack my suitcase and get on a flight. I didn't have Muffy yet. So I eventually got convinced to do the Ibiza thing. all of a sudden they're in the group chat being like, you need to buy this ticket, this ticket, this ticket, this ticket. What are we doing? What are we doing out here in Ibiza? And it was all for these, like, you know, club, like, DJ performances. And I immediately was like, I remember telling my friend, never mind, I'm not going. She was like, no, please go, it'll be so fun. And I was like, fine, I'll experience it, see what all the hype is about. I buy all the tickets. It's like one for, like, every day we're there. Even some days there's like two. If you go to Ibiza regularly, like, you know. I get all the tickets. We get to Ibiza. Immediately it's just, like, not the vibe. Like, I'm not with any of, like, my really close girlfriends, unfortunately. Like, none of these people are, like, my best friends. But I'm like, it'll be fun. Like, I'm always trying to keep it positive. We get to our Airbnb. Not nice. Like, not what I'm, like, used to, I guess. Like, it was okay, but, like, it just felt like, ugh. Like, all of our blankets and sheets were damp still. And that immediately threw me off because there was no dryer, which is hence why they were damp. So there was nothing we could do. I had to, like, sleep on top of this, like, gross little blanket the whole time. Right away, there was one guy with us. He was, like, got really drunk and went and, like, peed on our balcony. And there was so much sand and shit on our balcony that immediately I was like, okay, so I can't even use our balcony. Can't even go out there. Luckily, this was the one blessing on my trip to Ibiza. I chose the room that was by myself, but it was like a closet. It was so small. So, like, just with my suitcase on the ground, you couldn't even walk on it. I get ready. I'm like, I'm going to try this out. Like, I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to, like, try this out and try and have a fun night tonight at this, you know, DJ thing. So we go, it's like the main place in Ibiza, High. We go to, what is, like, good with my extensions today? We go to High, and right away I'm like, this is not my vibe. It's so packed, you can't move. That, some people like that. I just don't like that. I don't get how you can. I just don't like it. It's not for me. Maybe back in the day I would have liked it, maybe on the right drugs, but for me it's just, like, not it. So I don't know. We're there. I'm trying to have a good time, trying to dance. One of the girls we're with is, like, clearly not having a good time. And she's like, I'm not drinking. She, like, is just, like, bringing my vibe down. Because I'm like, clearly, like, you're not having fun. But then, like, one girl and the guy are, like, hella intense ravers. So they're like, we got to go here. We got to go here. I'm just in the middle. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never been here before. This girl's just not vibing. These people want to, like, go here and here and here. Like, they're taking all these things. So they're on a whole nother planet than us. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I ultimately end up, I think, walking home, potentially by myself. I think one of the girls actually ended up coming with me. Luckily, we were staying so close to that place. And we got home so late because we didn't even go so late. So we're home. We sleep in all till, like, so, like, late in the day. And, like, that's not how I like to do vacations. I like to, you know, get a reasonable amount of sleep and wake up so I can actually do stuff in the day. But that was not this type of trip. I realized really quickly. This was like a sleep all day, go to the beach for a few hours, and then, like, go out. And I was like, fuck. Like, this is my nightmare, actually. And I spent, like, hundreds of dollars on these tickets. I might have went to one more, but you guys, the rest of the trip, all I did was lay on the beach and lay in my bed, like, on my phone. I hate doing that. But I was, like, and, like, try and order food, even though it would take, like, 2 hours, and, like, it was gross, and, like, it was just terrible. It was just so bad. And I hated the food in Ibiza so much. It was, like, all seafood. I don't eat seafood besides shrimp. So, and anytime I would get, like, even a burger, it was so bad. I got pasta from this place. It was so bad. I don't know if we just were picking the worst places, but it was just not good food. Everything about it, I was like, where is the hype coming from? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. You just have to really be there to just fucking party. Like, if that is your goal, just party, listen to music. You don't give a shit about anything else. You'll have fun in Ibiza. I'm not even high maintenance. I'm not. And also, just, like, our Airbnb was small. It was just a mess by the end of the trip. It was just, like, it was just terrible. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you guys the worst part of my Hawaii trip. It took me 24 hours when we first went to Hawaii to get back home. After already having the worst, I know I'm totally backtracking, but it's, like, the same group. After already having the worst trip in Hawaii, not the worst, because Ibiza was worse. But after having a rough trip in Hawaii, for some reason, it would not let any of us check into our flights. And we would try, it wouldn't let. And I was like, okay, we'll just have to do it at the airport. I've had to do that before. It's not a big deal. I showed up to the airport 3 hours early. I wanted to make sure I got home, baby. I was like, I'm going home. Not taking a chance that I'm missing this flight and being stuck here. Like, I was over it. I get there 3 hours early. The line was so long because everyone was having this problem, and it was chaos. I waited in that line for an hour and a half, and I started freaking. Once I was almost at the beginning of the line, they're like, if you guys are waiting for this reason, you need to move to this line over here instead. I was like, I'm not gonna make it. Everyone starts rushing to the other line. I rush to the other line. I eventually like get up there. I'm like, my flight's about, like, I already missed my flight. Like, my flight's over. It's over. And they end up getting me on another flight, but they're like, it's about to leave. Like, you gotta go now. So I rush. It's in another terminal. It's outside the Hawaii airport. So I'm dying of heat. I'm running though, because I was like, I need to make this. Like, I'm running to this flight. I get there. I realize I'm missing my phone. I start sobbing immediately, you guys, because I'm like, okay, immediate thought, my first thing in my mind, I'm missing this flight for sure, because it was already a close call. Now I had to go find my phone. So, like, there's no chance in hell that I'm making this flight. So that hit me. So at this point, I almost want to just walk back to the terminal because I'm dying of breath, right? And now I'm like, I've got to go all the way back there. And I low-key have to run because, like, this is my phone we're talking about. Like, I've got to find my phone in this airport in Hawaii. So against all my breath, I start sprinting. Shit's falling out of my pockets. I notice my AirPods flung out of my pockets. I see both, like, I grab the case and just start running. I make it to where I was. No one knows where my phone is. And I'm like, oh my God, I was hoping they would just be like, it's right here. I asked this girl at the line, can I use your phone to call my phone? I'm calling my phone on this girl's phone. Somebody answers. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, you need to meet me here. Like, you have my phone. It's a worker, thank God. And they meet me. They give me my phone back. Thank blessing Jesus, right? Then I realize, no. Then I'm like, okay, y'all have to put me on another flight, low-key, because, like, I missed the second flight that you put me on. Then they book me another flight. I have a little bit of wiggle room now. I've got some time. Like, I've got, like, an hour in here. So I make my way back, and I look at my AirPods, and I knew my AirPods flung out during the course of all of that. So I had the case, but I didn't have the AirPods. So I'm like, whatever. Like, let me go check it. Let me go, like, drop my bag for this flight. Because at this point, I still had my whole ass, like, big suitcase. Like, they wouldn't let me check it until I checked into my flight. But I hadn't checked into my flight. So I still have my big suitcase. So I'm like, let me go check my bag. And then I'll go find my AirPods find my phone. So I check my bag. Or I go to get the thing to check my bag. And as I'm waiting to check my bag, someone comes up to me and they're like, are you Kaylee Carlson? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, we have your wallet. And I looked and I saw my wallet and I just like was like, and just went like this. So I was like, I'm a mess. Like, not only did I lose my phone, then I lost my AirPods, then I lost my wallet, and I didn't even realize. Who is this angel sent from above that just handed me my wallet? If you're watching this, thank you, because I literally was just like this. I was like, oh my God, I took it. The person behind me, before I even had a chance, goes, say thank you. I was about to turn around and pop them because, first of all, I'm obviously having an emotional and a hard day. I'm in the airport by myself. Have some compassion. Second of all, you didn't even give me a chance. Let me just take a moment to accept how stupid I am in this moment. That I lost my whole ID, phone, like cards, wallet. This was a Louis Vuitton wallet. I didn't even know. So I didn't even look at the person behind me. I was just like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, thank you. Get my bag. Then I go outside searching for my AirPods. I find one AirPod. It's like flung about under this bench outside. And I can't find the other AirPod. It's saying it's here. It's not here. It's saying it's here. It's not here. I'm like, where the fuck is it? But it was saying it was like 10 minutes ago. Like, it wasn't updated. So I'm like, someone must have stolen it in the last 10 minutes. I'm like, who would pick up just like a random AirPod? Oh my God,
Laptop is already locked.
Who would just pick up a random AirPod on the ground? That's crazy. But I was like, it's locked. Whatever. After literally like 30 minutes, I'm like, I have to go to my flight. I have to give up. I had one AirPod. I was so pissed. I posted on my Instagram story. I'm like, whoever stole my AirPod in the Hawaii airport, fuck you. Because honestly, my parents got me that for Christmas, and I really appreciate that gift because even though I could go and replace these myself, I really appreciated those AirPods because my parents got those for me as a Christmas gift, and my parents don't have a lot. So for them getting me AirPods, it was a really meaningful gift for me, and it really, really made me, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I was like, I just lost a gift from my parents. Like, I was sobbing after I found out I lost the AirPod. So also I bought new AirPods, and Muffy actually just chewed one of them and ruined it like 2 days ago. Love this for me. I have to buy a third pair now. I need to take better care of my AirPods. It's my fault. But I never find, I post on my story, someone ends up I post the location because after like 20 minutes, I see it's like at a house. And I was like, oh, someone did cop my AirPod. That's crazy because it's at someone's house right now. So I post a screenshot of it. People start DMing me and they're like, I'm showing up to their house right now. Then someone DMs me and they're like, a bunch of people are showing up to my house. Like, I stole your AirPod. I'm so sorry. And I didn't know if I should believe it. I'm like, is this true? Like, is this someone actually showing up at your house? Or is like, I don't know. So I was like, send me my AirPod back. Like, send me new AirPods if it's true. He's like, I'll send you like a whole new trip to Hawaii. And I'm like, I kind of feel like this guy is just like a creep, like trying to be in my DMs. And I was like, no, like, I'm not giving my address. Like, you have to like go on my Amazon wish list and like send me a new pair of AirPods. If you want to like repay me for stealing my AirPods so bad, that's what you have to do. But I'm not giving you my address. So like, it's either that or nothing. He never ended up sending me anything. I honestly don't think, because he's tried to DM me several times. Like, I don't think he ever had my AirPod. I don't know whatever happened. If you stole my AirPod, fuck you. I'm sure you've already gotten your karma by now. But that was the Hawaii one. It ended up, I eventually got on a flight, you guys. I eventually got on that flight. And it was terrible. It was just all around terrible experience. Now we're going to talk about my trip to St. Lucia. We've got 4. We're an hour and 7. We'll get to like a little bit longer. We can make this one a little bit longer, I guess. You guys, the mic isn't for you on TikTok. It's for my YouTube video. You guys are just watching it live. That's why people think my mic's not working. Yeah, it's for my YouTube people. I just have this up. I'm not even looking at you guys. It's not for you, but it is for you guys. It's for all of you. Anyway, St. Lucia. St. Lucia was a great trip. I look back at St. Lucia as a really fun trip, but I did have a horror story on this trip. And it really was with my sleeping situation. So this is when I got really into travel influencing, and when I was going to a new country every like 2 to 3 weeks to promote an Airbnb. So this really was a weird situation because the first time I went, when I went to Costa Rica, like, it was free, but the Airbnb was free, and then I paid for everything else on the trip. After that, it became like a business that was like I didn't want to be a part of. So it was like run by like my friend Cameron, that I was like, you can have the business. Like, I just will like go on these trips. I'll be the influencer. I'll be the one that like is the trusted female face that goes on these trips and that posted on YouTube, because really that's what they needed, because without me, Cameron was just Cameron. He wasn't an influencer, and neither was the videographer. So like they needed an influencer, so I was the influencer, right? But then once it got to like the St. Lucia trip, like I started getting charged for the trip the same amount as like any other influencer that would go. It became more of like you have to pay to go on these trips. But it like would be put in a way of like you're benefiting though. But for some reason, like, I always somehow felt like I was benefiting simply just because, like, I had a lot of say in things. Like, if I had a lot of say in who I wanted to be on the trip, and I had a say in where we went and what we did, and, like, pretty much whatever I said. At this point, even though, like, Philadelphia was a long time past, like, the crush, I think, was always there. Like, Cameron would do, if I said to do this, like, Cameron would do it. So, like, I was, like, I, for some reason, felt like I was in an advantage, but looking back, I was being taken advantage of. Because, like, my footage that I would pay my videographer to film a YouTube video, and then, like, this business would take my YouTube video and use it as promotion for their company without like giving me any type of anything. And I never said anything because, guys, the microphone is not for your TikTok. It's for my camera. It's not for TikTok. I just have my TikTok up. But sorry, YouTube. But like I really wasn't benefiting in any way besides getting an invite. Like, but everyone was getting an invite. He was actually like begging people to go. So that's why I don't know. But I went to St. Lucia. It was like fun. I was getting to go to places that like I'd never even heard of before. So I was excited to go to St. Lucia. There was like one girl that I like somewhat knew from social media, and like one girl I had no idea who she was. That girl was like so like awesome. Like I thought she was so nice. She was so cool. I really got along with her. And I got there, and immediately Dima, my best friend that you guys know, he took like the upstairs room that was like, there was like the middle, and then there was upstairs where there was like, it was kind of like a loft type thing. Like you could see off of it. You could see outside, and it was like a balcony type thing with like a bed and its own bathroom. And Dima took up there. And I was like, no, like I want to be up there. Like, let me be up there. It'll be like cool to be up there. I don't know. I really just wanted my own bedroom. I didn't want to be stuck with like a girl I didn't know, because I had been doing that on so many trips, and I just really wanted to have my own space for once. So I was like, let me be up there. It kind of ended up being my downfall, though, because little did I know that the other rooms had AC, and this was outdoors, basically. The bed did have, like, a curtain thing, like one of those, like, bug catcher things that went around it for nighttime for bugs, because it was literally outside. It was basically camping on a bed. And no AC, obviously, and the other bedrooms didn't have bugs, and they didn't have AC. So in hindsight, I kicked myself because I was like, fuck, I got my own room, but at what cost? Because I'm prone to mosquito bites. So I was pretty nervous. But honestly, what ended up being the biggest issue is a couple things. And this is a quick one because, like I said, this was just like the one horror of this trip. Of course, first of all, I didn't get bit by mosquitoes the first few days, which I could not believe. Like, I couldn't believe I was getting blessed with not getting bit by mosquitoes. But I wasn't. But the last night, I got probably 40 mosquito bites. I had to come home and buy special cream because that's how much pain I was in because of how terrible it was. So for some reason, the last night, the bugs just absolutely rocked me. They were like, we're going to get you before you leave. But before that, it was fine. What the problem was while I was sleeping was actually the birds. They did not stop. And this was not like a normal, like, cutesy bird. Even if it was, fuck off. Like, I'm not into that. Like, who is? But this was a bird that was like a scream. It was like, eat, 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 eat. Sorry, Muffy. I know it's annoying. I know it is annoying when you're sleeping. I agree. And it was all night. Every night. Okay. I couldn't. I slept, you guys, with AirPods in every night. I've never done that in my life. I've never done that. Who wants to sleep with headphones in? I slept with AirPods in every night. Like, and when my phone would die, because they're also, you had to have like a special like connector to plug, and I didn't have one, so I had to borrow my friend's. So if my phone died, like, I was screwed, because then I had no music, like no fan on my AirPods. So that was rough. And then also we had a TikTok liver in the house. This girl that did TikTok live, but it wasn't TikTok live like I do TikTok live. It was the TikTok live that's like, hey, let's go, like, give me 50, blah, 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 give me this. So they would do it outside in a way to, like, be respectful, but, like, it really wasn't, because my room was, like, right above it outside. So, like, I could hear it loud as day. Like, you're screaming all throughout the night. And also where she was going was, there was just a window and then my friend's bedroom, so he could hear it all night, too. So, like, that honestly irritated me, but I was like, whatever. It is a content trip. Like, I'm not going to be, like, I would never, like, whatever. It is what it is. Whatever. But that definitely made it definitely hard to sleep. I felt like I was on Survivor when I left. I remember, like, after my last night, we went to breakfast, and I was like, wow, I feel like I just, like, survived something. Like, I feel like I just went through something, and I'm a stronger person because of it. And I know that sounds so first world, because, like, people go through a lot worse. But I was, like, sleeping outdoors for, like, my little vacation, and it was good. Honestly, it was a growing experience, a building experience, Would I prefer to be in a bedroom with the AC? Probably. But that was mostly, yeah, fuck those birds. Honestly, that was the birds. Cabo, the first time I went to Cabo, I've gone to Cabo a couple times. The first time I went to Cabo was actually super fun. Like, I have great memories from the first time I went to Cabo, but I also have some issues with the first time I went to Cabo, and that's honestly where the downfall began. I'm not bringing up every single trip I went on with this company because we went on a ton. I'm just bringing up ones where I have like really specific stories. So this first trip to Cabo, it was really fun. I really loved the group that we were with, and also it was different because this trip we had full staff. So it wasn't just like we showed up to a house and it was just us. Like, we showed up and we had chefs, we had like people making our drinks, like we had cleaners, like there was people like on site. So it was like more of a fun vibe. There was more guys on this trip. This like Cameron person like only ever wanted girls on the influencer trips. Like, I would never, like, I would have a guy that was like a successful influencer that would want to go, and I like wouldn't even ask because, like I said, this Cameron guy had like a weird crush, weird thing with me. So I just already knew that would be like weird. Like, he would be like weird about guys coming, and then just that, it just like was weird. Also, I'm going to tell you guys about the summer shredding I went to. The most recent summer shredding I went to, where this Cameron guy like tried to beat someone's ass because of me, which I'm not even going to talk about because it's just like too specific. But anyway, we go to this Cabo trip, which I'm really excited for this trip. We're sponsored by like alcohol brands. Like, it's a big trip for us, and we're all really excited. And I pay full price for this trip, like I had been doing. Honestly, like, it was crazy that I was paying full price because I was doing so much more work than the other influencers that were going and paying full price. And we were paying like the same amount, but I was like doing way much more work, and I was getting worse circumstances throughout the trip. So, but I was always very laid back about it. Like, I was always trying to just like help my friend build his business. So I'm not one to be like, oh, my friend does this, can I get it for free? Like, I'm one to be like, oh, my friend does this, let me pay you for your service and then tip you good because you're my friend. So that's how I always looked at it, is I hate to be like, why am I paying for this even though I'm doing so much? First of all, I was recruiting so many people for these trips. Like, the first few trips, it was all my friends, and we were all paying full price. They would never have happened without me and my friends. And also, the company wouldn't be a thing without me, because who's going to trust going on a trip with just this random dude? Nobody smart. So I was that friendly person to be like, it's safe to go, like, I will be there. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of girls tell me, like, I felt comfortable to go because I saw that you had been on these trips. So I don't know. And also, like I said, the YouTube videos, I would do tours of all these places. Like, I was putting in a lot of work on my time and like on my social medias that I had built, and getting really nothing in return, besides getting an invite. And then I go on this trip. We get there. I'm super excited. I meet one of the girls I had like known through the grapevine, and I was like, interesting choice, but okay. One of the girls did not even do social media. You guys, like, she didn't have an Instagram. Like, she does not have an Instagram. So I was confused why she was there, but I was like, she's cool. Like, no worries. Like, it got to the point where I was like, that's not my business. Like, I started to kind of get the mindset of like, I'm stressing so much about finding people for these trips and stuff. And I'm like, why? At the end of the day, like, it's not my business. It's not my responsibility. And I had a million other things to worry about. So I was like, this is not my job. So I was starting to get more chill about it, and I was just like, whatever. So like, we get to this Cabo trip. I'm talking to the girls. I'm like, seems like it's gonna be fun. There's guys and girls here. Also, okay, I've got 5 minutes left. I'm gonna have to pause this and restart in a second. But we're getting to know each other, and we get to the house, and I'm pretty stressed because I would always be stressed about this like sleeping situation, because I always knew that like if someone was gonna get fucked over, it was gonna be me. Like, I always knew, because I'm such a pushover and I'm very laid back. I don't confront people about little things often. I will confront you about the big things. I know that's right. But about the little things, you know, you won't hear a peep from me. So I always would stress about it and be like, what's it gonna be like? So we get to the house, and basically I think the situation was like, one girl, this was her first trip. We had all just met her for the first time. She got her own bedroom. They're trying to impress her, probably, whatever. It's her first trip. Then the two sisters I believe, got their own bedroom. I believe one slept in one bed, one slept in the other room. And then the host, he got his own bedroom, and I think my videographer no. And then And then upstairs, so like the two sisters were downstairs. The girl sleeping by herself was on the second floor. Me, the videographer, and the creator. Well, I was kind of left in the dust, right? Like, I was like, well, where am I going to sleep? Like, I don't even know this girl. Like, it's awkward. Like, and the creator, Cameron, was like, you can sleep upstairs. There's like a little bed upstairs in the room with me and the videographer. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep in the room with you and your videographer. Like, I'm not worried about that. We were all super close, but I was like, my stuff, like all three of our suitcases in one room, let's check out the room. So I go in the room, and it's like a bed, and like the bed in question was like a circle, like little small love seat type thing. Or wait, was it circle or was it rectangle? It was a love seat. It wasn't a bed. It wasn't like a futon. This was just like a love seat. And I was like, okay, this was fine. Like, am I going to say something? No. The girl we just met gets her own bedroom. The sisters get their own bedroom. I have to sleep on this futon thing. Not a futon. This basically footstool. Basically. Okay, no worries. Like, I got it. If ever I'm all like, you know, like, if everyone else is happy, I'm happy. All for one for all. So I was like, it does look better if this girl gets her own room. They get their own room. They'll be happy. That makes everyone happy, whatever. But I knew that there was another guy coming the next day. And I was like, where is he going to sleep? And there's one guy. Actually, there's already one guy there. He was already put on the couch. So we had a guy on the couch, no bedroom. It was just a mess. That's what I mean. Like, he would prioritize the, like, new girls because he was trying to get at them. You know? Like, it was creepy. Because it's like, you give them all, like, these cushy, their own beds, and then you put the one guy on the couch. You put me on the footstool, because you already know that's not going to happen. And then when the new guy shows up, this is what's funny. I spend the night. The new guy shows up the next day, and they're like, can we give the new guy your bed? And will you go sleep with the girl downstairs? And luckily at this point, I had become friends with that girl. Like, thank God. And I was like, yeah, I would rather stay with her room anyway. But also, this is something you have to know for the story. When we were literally in the Uber, or in the transportation from the airport to our Airbnb when we got to Cabo, I was talking to this girl. Let's call her Amy. I was talking to Amy, the girl I ended up sharing a room with. I was talking to Amy on the way there, and she looks at me and she was like, did you pay for this trip? And me thinking like, oh, everyone paid for this trip. Like, I want them to know, like, I'm not getting shit for free, because then people will look and be like, well, what is she doing to get the trip for free? You know what I mean? So I was like, oh yeah, no, I unfortunately, I paid full price for this. Now keep in mind, this was $3,000 for this trip. Plus flights. $3,000 with food and everything included, but plus flights. Which is pretty pricey, but it was a nice place. And we had a chef and we had everything. So, but like, if you would do the math for these trips, like, the math did not add up. Like, the trip to Cabo where we had a chef and everything, it was the same price as Colombia, which we had no chef. And the price of Colombia is dirt cheap. That's why people go to Colombia. It's like, what, 30% of US? I don't even know, but it's cheap. So it was just a scam, you know what I mean? But anyway, I was like, yes, I definitely paid full price for this trip. So anyway, I'm with the girl. I'm sharing a room with the girl. Now that night, Cameron and this other guy get in a fight over Amy, because they both like want to get at Amy, right? And I'm like, Amy doesn't want either of y'all, first of all. Because at this point, I was girls with Amy. I was like, Amy doesn't want you guys. But you guys are fighting over, you guys are best friends. You guys are fighting over Amy, who you just met. And it was just this whole thing where I was so mad at the Cameron guy, because I was like, you are causing so much drama. It wasn't the other guy. It was Cameron that was causing the drama. So I'm like, you're causing all this drama. Like, we don't need drama on the trip over this girl you just met. Like, please. So we all go to sleep. I expect the next day we're going to wake up and everything's going to be blown over. No, Cameron's still so mad, will not talk to his friend. And I'm like good friends with them all. So I'm like, dude, this is so stupid, whatever. Like, I don't know why there's drama. Oh, because this file was like so large, I kept having to like delete stuff off my camera, and I accidentally deleted 20 minutes of a clip. But this is an important 20 minutes. So I still have the audio, which is awesome. But enjoy this photo of me in college when I was doing parkour at 10 a.m. and I like fractured my ankle for 20 minutes while you listen to the audio, and then we'll be back on visual. And I was just not having it. I didn't want to sit all day and listen to these boys just complain, and I was just not over it. They were like, we're going to the beach. Do you want to come? And I was like, you know what? No, I don't. So me and the guy that was fighting with Cameron stayed at the house. And while we were at the house, obviously the guy was just venting to me about the situation with Cameron and other things involving the trips and stuff. And I find out from this guy that apparently, I need to, apparently, Amy and the two sisters, and who knows about the two guys, I don't even know to this day, got the trip fully for free. Wait a minute. He said this, and I said, you're going to have to back up for me. You're going to have to back up for me. What do you mean that, because at this point we're really close, like we're all really close. I'm like, what do you mean that these three girls that like we don't know, one of them doesn't even have Instagram, got the trip for free, and I just dropped $3,000 on this trip? So basically what you're saying is like, I'm paying for this boat we're renting, I'm paying for this chef, I'm paying for all this stuff because you guys didn't pay, right? Like the guy I was talking to, he didn't pay because he was like working, like he was doing work. So it was like, am I the only one who paid for this trip? I'm confused right now. And add on top of that out of everybody, I had the worst sleeping arrangement. I was told to just like sleep on the footstool. What? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. So I was really annoyed. I don't know if the guy telling me this knew that how annoyed I was going to be about this, but I was extremely annoyed because this was clearly the information that had been kept from me. Like, I had known about so much stuff, so like the fact that I didn't know about this, I was like, and then I immediately looked back at that Uber when that girl asked me if I paid for the trip, and I sat there and was like, yeah, I did. Imagine how much of a clown I looked. Imagine how stupid I looked when that girl's asking me if I paid for the trip, and I'm saying yes, and she's sitting there like, I never even met this guy, and I got this trip for free for no reason. Like, they didn't even, I did a whole YouTube video for this trip that I paid for also. On top of that, I paid for a YouTube video that they used for promotion for the trip. Like, I did all the stuff, and I'm just like, that's when things started to click in my brain, and I was like, what's happening? Like, I was so done. At that point, I was like, I'm so done. I was so mad. It got there was a confrontation about it. Ultimately, what was decided or what was said to me was like, oh, we're gonna give you the next trip for free. And I was like, it really didn't mean much to me. Because I'm like, at this point, you just did that for these three girls that you never even met before. What is that? What is it? You're giving me this opportunity that you already just gave to these three girls. What, hoping to hit? I don't understand. Like, I literally, I was so irritated, but I didn't want to like fully ruin the trip, so I just tried to just enjoy myself the rest of the time. But after that point, I was like, okay, I see how things are. So I, against my better judgment, honestly decided to go on that next trip because I'm like, whatever, I'm getting it for free. What else do I have to do? Like, why not just go? I don't know. So I decided to go on this trip. Now, mind you, it's these two same guys that I'm friends with and another guy I'm friends with, and then just like some girls that I'd never met before. And this was like common. Like, I was used to, it being like a couple people I know, and then like we would invite like new influencers every time. Sometimes I would have a say, like sometimes I would recommend people, but towards the end I was like, that's not my responsibility. You can find your own people for the trips. Like, I don't care. Because I was like, I don't want to recommend my friends give you money. Like, that's honestly how I felt. So I was like, it sucks because it's like, I want my friends on these trips with me, but at the same time, I don't want them to give money for these trips knowing that they're being overcharged. Like, I just feel wrong doing that. So I went on this trip. Amelia was like, okay. Like, I ended up, like, I was in a room, like, I was sharing, like, a room with, 3 other girls. And it was fine. Like, we were, like, talking, and, or maybe it was two other girls, maybe it was. I don't remember. But that was fine, knowing that Amelia was like besties with right off the bat, but I'm always like just trying to make sure everyone's having fun, make sure everyone's comfortable on these trips. Like that kind of somehow ended up being like my role towards the end. It was just like make sure like everyone's good. If there was like a girl that like didn't really like know anybody, like I would kind of be like, oh, like let's be friends. Like, I don't know, like, so we were on this trip. And one of the girls I was, like, getting along with pretty well, and she brought a friend. And her friend was, like, pretty young. And her friend the first night got, like, absolutely, like, totally blacked out drunk and made, like, a total mess of her bedroom. Got a bunch of, like, food in the bed, like, smeared all over the bed. Like, all this stuff to where we were all, like, wait, who is this bitch? Like, who is she? And, like, I kind of felt bad because her best friend that I was like getting along really well with was like not best friend, her friend that she invited. She was like very embarrassed, rightfully so. Like I would be embarrassed too if that was my friend. So like I felt for her because I was like, it's okay, we know it's not you, like we get it. So like she was just fully ignoring her friend after that. So then it was like an uncomfortable situation because the friend that was like got drunk and smeared stuff all over her bed was trying to befriend me because she had no one else to talk to, and I felt for her too because I'm like, do I think that's gross? Yeah. Do I think that's really crazy to do on a trip where you don't know anybody but one person? Yeah. On your first night. But whatever. So I was trying to, I would try and talk to her just so she didn't feel left out and stuff. Ended up like we ended up on a boat party, right? Like tons of people. And it was like on the shore where there was tons of other boats with tons of other people. So there's like probably thousands of people like right in our vicinity, like on boats, in the ocean, on the beach, like tons, a boat party. So I'm having fun. I'm like, maybe I'll drink a little bit. You guys know I'm not a drinker, but I was going to eat pasta and mushrooms, let's say that. And I was like, I brought them on this trip. I had chocolate. Let's maybe say that, like, super special chocolate that's not gardening. That's not planty. Well, it is planty, foodie. You guys get me, right? Just having this nostalgic day. So, because I prefer to do, like, something like that rather than drinking. I hate drinking. I think alcohol is literal poison. So I brought that, and there was one guy there that was like wanting to do it with me. Muffy, you're being crazy right now. There was a guy there that wanted to do it with me, and these 2 girls that like it was my first time meeting them. They were like in the fitness industry. They were like had never done them before, and they were like, we want some. And I was like, I'm always down like to be that person, like to give you a little try for the first time with me. Cool. So, and I'm like a giver, like I'm that way with anything. Like if I've got something fun and I'm gonna do it, like please join me. Like that's how I am. So I brought it out. The people on this boat, there's tons of people on this boat, but we were like the first ones on this boat. Like we knew these people. They gave us our own cooler, and they're like, put your drinks in here, put everything in here. So it was a plastic baggie with chocolate in it. I put that in the cooler. After I took some, the guy took some, and then these 2 girls, let's call these 3 Ed, and Eddie. Okay, that's really what they are. The 3 Stooges. Let's actually call them that. So I took some, the 3 Stooges took some. The 2 girls, I gave it to them, right? Because I was like, you've never done them before. They don't know how much to take. So I gave them like 1 piece or something, right? Like they've never done it. Their tolerance is 0. They're smaller than me. You guys know I'm a smaller girl. They were like my size or smaller. And we're in another country on a boat, surrounded by other boats, thousands of people that you don't know. So let's keep it safe here. I know like when I do that type of thing, especially my first time, or if you want to do a lot, like you want to be in a secluded space, like with your friends, like you don't want to be in that scenario. I was only doing a tiny bit. I did just as much as these girls, probably maybe a teeny bit more. So little bit later, probably an hour goes by, they're coming up to me complaining. I don't feel anything. And I'm telling them, it's not really just like feel anything. It's not like being drunk. Like these girls, I feel like they maybe didn't get it, because I was like, you're just gonna be happy. Are you happy? Are you having a fun time? Like, okay, like that might be it. I said, I'm gonna give you a little bit more, but just be aware, like it's not gonna be something that you might feel. If you want, like, if you got to the point where you full on feel it, you shouldn't be at this scenario. You know what I mean? You should be at home, like with some friends or by yourself. Like, you shouldn't be in this scenario if you start to feel it. So I was like, that's not what you're going for here, babe. You're going for like a fun day, and it's just going to enhance that. But I was like, I'll give you guys another piece. I gave them each another piece. My other friend had some more with me too. We all took some more. The Three Stooges took all some more with me. So literally fast forward to the end of the boat day. We go to get our stuff out of the cooler. Muffy, you need to like get off the couch. I'm so serious. Like, you're being insane. We go to get in the cooler, and I open the cooler, like we barely had anything in there anymore. And I'm like, where is the baggie? Like, we still had like half of a bar left. Like when I had it, like we had a lot left. And I was like, where is it? And I was standing up. Let me put it into perspective for you guys, since you're watching. I was standing up on this boat. Every person in our Airbnb that was with us on this trip was sitting boom, 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 boom on this seat on the boat. And I'm always just like, I'm the entertainer, if you will. So I'm always just standing, whatever, talking. So I was standing up. I was open the cooler to get out the chocolate, and I open it up, and it's not in there. And I looked at everyone sitting right in front of me, and I'm like, whoa, where is the baggie? Where's the chocolate? Where's the chocolate? And everyone's like, we ate it. Like, we ate it. What do you mean? I'm like, no, like, there was so much left. Like, what do you mean? And I'm laughing about it. Like, this isn't like where is it? Where is it? Like, this is like, where is it? Like, who would, because I'm confused. Because obviously we have a cooler out. There's lots of people there. But I'm laughing to everyone being like, who would just take a random sandwich baggie with half melted, but then frozen again, chocolate, and eat it, not knowing what's in it? Like, that's insane. That's insane behavior. Like, I wouldn't do that, and I'm pretty insane. So like, I was just very confused, right? Fast, like, and I almost could end that story there, right? It wasn't a good really rest of the trip. I had no gardening stuff. I was doing it out of a Sprite can. It was like grimy work. I was happy to get home from Curacao, but it was a beautiful country. Now, fast forward to the last and final trip I go on with this group, this smaller group where we have extra people come on. And that's where this mushroom, or this, I already fucking said I'm not editing this. This story will come back into play, okay? Just remember everything that I just told you. Because just weeks later, I was going to Colombia. Now, after Cabo, after Curacao, I did not want to go to Colombia. Like, I did not want to go to Colombia because I was like, I'm so done with this. Like, I'm done traveling with random people. I'm sick of it. Like, it's just like, I'm not connecting. I'm sick of like meeting these new girls, trying to make friendships, like connecting, telling people about my life and stuff, and then just never talking to them again. Like, it's just, I'm traveling to all these countries, and it's like, it's not even fun really at the end of the day, because I'm not with people that I really love and care about besides like my 1 to 2 friends that are with me. So I feel like it's just like a waste to be like going to these places. So the only reason that I just keep deciding to go to Colombia and decide to go to Colombia is because months before this happened, like months before these trips happened, a girl that I know, that I had traveled with prior, that like I didn't necessarily have good experiences with and like other trips, but I was like, that could have been the other people, whatever. But I was like, I don't know, these 2 girls that I traveled with prior, they were like, we can't go on like Cabo or whatever trip it was, but we want to go when you guys go to Colombia, because these trips had been lined up for a bit. So like, we want to go to Colombia. So they had already said they locked in their trip to Colombia, like their spot to the Colombia trip, months prior, and they had like confirmed with me, like, you're definitely going to Colombia, right? And I was like, yes. So for some reason, like, I felt like regardless of if I wanted to go, like, I have to go. I already told these 2 girls I'm going, and like, they don't know my friends. Like, these are like kind of my friends. Like, I've been on so many of these trips, like, I need to be there. which in hindsight, I absolutely didn't need to be there because little did I know. I was so out of it. Like, I didn't want to know about these trips. I didn't want to know anything. I was so busy with my own stuff that this was like right after I filmed Temptation Island. So I was like, I don't care who's going on the trip. So I didn't even know who was going until I got there. Little did I know it was like their friends. Like, these two girls that I invited, they invited their friends, which is fine, but I didn't need to be there, right? Because like they weren't alone. Like, this trip was basically like majority their friends. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to stop again because I'm gonna be out of filming. What is it? 5 minutes. This is my last one anyway. Can we wrap it up in 5 minutes? I don't know. So I go right away. I regret going because I was like, I don't need to be here. I just don't need to be here. I was like kind of dating somebody at this point, and I was like, things were like so good with him, and I was like, I kind of just want to be home with him. And this was like where I was getting to the point where I was like, I might want a dog. Like, I'm sick of traveling so much. Like, this was getting to that point. This was back in like September of 2024. So I was like getting to that point already. So I was like, whatever, I'm already here. Like, I'm going to try and have fun and make the most of it. The one girl that I kind of got along with in Curacao, the one whose friend was a mess, she was coming to Colombia. There's another girl that was in Curacao that's coming to Colombia too. So I was like, okay, at least I like know of these two girls. And I thought like the one girl I kind of took under my wing, the one girl whose best friend was a mess. And we became friends, so I was excited. And I literally told the guy who put on the trip, I said, I want to be in a room with this girl. So I ended up being in a bed with her and with two other girls, two other girls, I think, on this trip. Come to find out, this girl was like shit talking me, which was like such a like what to me, because I was like, I was your friend. Like, I was trying to be so nice to you. And turns out like, we were talking about one of these guys on the trip. You guys may know him. We were talking about him, and I could hear someone coming into their room, so she was talking shit. So I was like, shh. And apparently later that night when she was drunk, she like went to my friend and was like, she was telling me to shush. Like, I don't know why she was doing that, blah, blah. I was like, girl, you were talking shit. And then he was about to walk in the room. Like, I was helping you. So this is when I was like, it was like, this is my last straw. Like, I'm trying to be nice and make friends, and this is what I get. Like, this is when I was starting to get really pissed, because I was like, this is the one girl I really actually like made an effort to be friends with. And she's shitting on me. And then I find out from the same guy that told me about the girls not paying for the trip to Cabo. He tells me that apparently he was like, oh, by the way, we got like mad at one of the people in the Three Stooges. I won't say who. And he goes, by the way, remember how you said you couldn't find your chocolate? This person, I don't think, did any chocolate this day. He goes, remember when you said you couldn't find it? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, he didn't say the Three Stooges. He goes, the Three Stooges are the ones who stole that. And I was like, what? What do you... You're joking. And one of the Three Stooges, you guys probably know who it is. I was very close with him throughout the last year. And I was sick to my stomach because I already didn't really care for the guy. And to find out that he... and I know, like, yeah, the girls stole it too. I knew it was those three, but I knew it was the guy that was like, it's okay, let's just take it. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was him that definitely took it out of the fucking thing, and they took more. And I'm like, not only that, but it's like, how disgusting, because these two small girls have never done this before, and you as a man, instead of like protecting them and taking care of them in this wild situation, you're literally giving them more. As a grown man, you're like 27, 28. Like, I don't know. I hate to even involve that, but also it's like, I never brought that up to any of the Three Stooges. I don't think any of them know that I like have an issue with them at all, actually. But like, yes, I do know that you guys stole from me, and I do know that you guys all sat there one by one and said that you were gaslit me and told me that we all ate them. Liars. So I was like, okay, what am I doing? Spending money. Also, I paid for this Colombia trip. You guys, I didn't get it for free. Or did I? No, I did. The guy who was putting on the trips knew I was so ready to back out of everything that I think I did. I may have gotten this for free. I don't fucking remember. No, I didn't. And I was supposed to get a $500 refund for this trip, and I didn't. That's another thing. Oh my God, you guys. There is a lot of There is a lot with this story. Let me delete something from my camera and continue this. You guys, it's about to get juicy. Oh, let me pause this, and this is literally going to be... And honestly, like, what bothered me the most is, like, I was already giving it to you. I was just trying to make sure everyone was safe. I'm not stingy. I'm not one to say no, ever. Like, you can literally take the shirt off my back. That's just how I am, especially on these trips with these new people. Like, I'm always kind, and I always was trying... That's what pissed me off, is I was giving it to y'all, like, already. And then you steal it and then lie to me. Like, that's what made me mad. And I'm like, that's just, like, scummy behavior, to be honest. And I was like, why am I paying my own hard-worked money to go on these trips and then get stolen from, talk shit about girls that I'm trying to be kind to? I was already giving it to you. I was just trying to make sure everyone was safe. I'm not stingy. I'm not one to say no, ever. Like, you can literally take the shirt off my back. That's just how I am, especially on these trips with these new people. Like, I'm always kind, and I always was trying... That's what pissed me off, is I was giving it to y'all, like, already. And then you steal it and then lie to me. Like, that's what made me mad. And I'm like, that's just, like, scummy behavior, to be honest. And I was like, why am I paying my own hard-worked money to go on these trips and then get stolen from, talk shit about girls that I'm trying to be kind to? Like, I just am, like, over it. Like, it's not worth it for me. And then I ended up going to sleep that night. Also, the other girls I was with, like, one girl was fucking an absolute nightmare. It was so funny when Temptation Island came out. She tried to message Ashley and talk shit about me, and Ashley sent it to me. And I literally messaged the girl, and I was like, please stop trying to be relevant. Like, I met her on this Columbia trip, and I really would never use the word white trash except with this girl, because it was I had to leave, you guys. I woke up at 5 a.m. the morning after the next day, and I booked a flight home because this girl was too embarrassing to be in public with. When I go out of the country, we better be respectful. You respect people, especially when we're filming. Like, you really have to go above and beyond to be respectful as Americans, especially as us, with filming and stuff. Like, I do not want to be embarrassed. And they were barking at people, meowing at people, like being so embarrassing, like talking in fake Spanish, which is actually racist and disrespectful. So I was genuinely like, I'm so embarrassed to be associated with these people, be around these people, be seen with these people, be on video with these people. So I literally remember I called the guy I was dating at like 5 a.m. After the first night, and I said, I don't know what to do. I went outside to make sure no one could hear me. I was like, I feel like I need to book a flight home. Like, my intuition is telling me to go the fuck home. This is not a good situation. And like, I already just didn't like it there. Like, it was just like so there was no activities planned. It was $3,000. There was no activities planned. We did one hike that was literally like $5. Meals there were like $5 because it's Colombia. So I don't know where that money like came from or like where it was going. But it was just awful. And the guy I was seeing was like, book a flight home. Like, you clearly should not be there. So I booked a flight home. We were already going from Medellin to Cartagena, I don't know how it's pronounced, the following day. So I was like, I just need to make it through one more night because we'll all be going to the airport already. And I'm just going to low-key be like, hey, instead of flying there with you guys, I'm going to fly back to Miami. I was trying to make it a really low-key thing, not cause a scene, but I was like disgusted. That second night was actually terrible. Way worse than the first night. It was one of my best friend's birthday, so it was like a really big table. So I was sitting at one end with like my friend whose birthday was at the head of the table, and then like it was really hard to like really even talk to the people at the other end of the table to kind of put it in perspective. But you could still like hear if you were trying to hear, but it was like hard to really understand what was going on the other end of the table. So already, like, I'm not having, like, Muffy, it's not the time. I'm already, like, not having, like, you know, I'm not having the greatest time. I'm like, we're at dinner, it's gonna be fun, and it's my friend's birthday, so we're just kind of talking, and throughout this dinner, I'm hearing Cameron, the guy, like, the head guy at the end of the table talking with like this girl I know and like a couple girls I know about one of my good friends who like they like used to be friends with and like were supposedly on good terms with, but they were like sitting there talking bad about them. And I'm so good friends with this person, so like I immediately was like, what's happening? 'Cause I don't like this. So I'm hearing them talk, and then the one girl, I don't remember, did I give her a name? Did I name her Amy? Was that her that I named her?
I think it was.
I don't know. The one girl that like I really, really could not stand. I think I did give her Amy because I think I thought it was like an ugly name. Or was she the one I named Sam? See, now I'm already like, I'm mixed up with these names. Let's give her a new name. Molly. Molly's the one I don't fuck with. So, Molly is just like, starts chiming in on this conversation. Now, mind you, Molly has never met my friend. So really, you should keep your little mouth shut because what are you doing talking about my friend when you've never met her before? And she starts saying like, oh, so-and-so's like the definition of like a dirty bitch. And I was like, okay, now what the fuck? So I'm at the other end of the table, like, excuse me, like, I'm sitting there with like a disgusted look on my face, like, what? Like, I don't want to ruin this birthday dinner by crashing out and going off, but I'm like, who the hell do you think you are? So I'm really obviously irritated. And at this point, I see my guy, like, Cameron's phone being passed over to the other girl's phone. And I'm like, I don't like this. What's going on? Why are they passing phone? And come to find out, the girl messaged my friend off of my guy friend's phone being like, why don't you like so-and-so? Like, they're trying to trick her into, like, giving information. And the girl, as nice as she answers being like, oh, you know, like, we're just not really close anymore or whatever. And, like, I don't like it. Like, you're conspiring, like, lying to my friend. So I don't like what's happening here. So I clearly am really mad about the situation. Me and my guy friend whose birthday it is are freaking out, looking at our other friend being like, stop it, stop. What are you doing? Like, these are not like our besties here. Like, what are you doing? But like, we're scared to text him anything because he keeps giving his phone to the girl. So we're like, we don't know what to do. We're just pissed off. We're annoyed because this girl's sitting there like talking shit, whatever, Molly. So I'm irritated enough to the point where her friend who invited her texted me being like, I'm so sorry, like, on behalf of my friend, blah, 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 blah. This was after dinner. I'm like, okay, but why didn't you say something in the moment? You actually, like, egged it on. So, like, don't sit here now apologizing for your friend to me over text when, like, you could have said something in the moment and stuck up and you didn't do it. Like, you let her just, like, talk bad about someone we all are, like, friends with. So automatically I was just like so happy that I had a flight the next day. Like, that was a big reason I was just keeping my mouth shut, because I was like, I'm leaving, bye, like, I'm leaving the next day and I'm never talking to y'all again. Like, I was so annoyed, but I was like, again, it's my friend's birthday. I'm forced to like finish out this night and go to a club with them. I hate going out, I hate drinking, especially at this point. Like, right now I don't drink at all, so it really, when it got to this point, like, I really hated drinking, I hated being out late, I hated this shit. So we went out. I'm trying to have a good time, but one girl is just like tweaking out. I literally don't even remember what she was tweaking out about, but she was just like tweaking out and didn't want to be there and just like freaking out saying she didn't want to be there. So I said to her, I was like, if you go back to the villa, I will go with you so you don't go by yourself. Like, I wasn't really up for being there, but also like, this is kind of my excuse. Like, you want to leave, I don't want you to go by yourself. We're in Colombia right now. Like, I'll go with you. And, like, me and the birthday boy were, like, so good friends. Like, he doesn't care. He was already in a terrible mood because that dinner was, like, ruined. Like, he was not having a good time because of, like, everything that was going on at dinner. That had nothing to do with me, mind you. I was just as annoyed about it as he was. We were annoyed about the same thing. We were hanging out and talking all night about the situation. So I tell a girl, like, I'll leave with you if you want to. Then she starts going to everyone being like, Kay wants to leave too. Kay wants to leave too. I was like, no, hold on. I just said that I will leave if you want me to leave. Like, I'm not saying, like, get me out of here. So let's just not put it on me when I'm trying to do something nice for you. So this keeps going on. And I told her, I said, stop saying that. I'm just saying I will leave. But she kept saying it. Then Molly, keep in mind, none of us have ever met this girl before besides the one girl that invited her. And I've been best friends with the birthday boy for years. She comes up to me and she goes, let's call the birthday boy Alex. She comes up to me and she's like, you need to just go home if you want to go home so bad because you're ruining Alex's birthday. You're joking. When I tell you guys, like, this was the reaction I had. And I just looked at her in the face and I go, I'm not what's ruining Dima's birthday. And she just, like, kind of nodded and looked at me like she knew, like, do not say one more thing. Because that's my best friend you're talking about, first of all. I've been hanging out with him all night. I've been talking to him all night. You ruined his birthday. You're acting like a little, I'm not even going to say the word. So how dare you come up to my face and say that to me? So I end up going home. I end up hearing from the girl I went home with. She was like, oh, she was saying, I want to beat so-and-so's, I want to beat that bitch's ass. Now, I thought she was saying that girl said that about me. So I immediately start crashing out. Like, I start crashing out. I text, like, Cameron, and I'm like, you better send her home now. Like, I start crashing out. Turns out she was saying that about my friend, which is almost as equally as bad. Like, either way, you're not touching nobody, baby. So then the next morning comes around. I was literally, like, praying to my angels, my heavens, my gods, that I had a flight home that day. Like, I could not wait to get out of that environment. Tell me why that next morning, Molly and her friend that invited her, literally, I don't even know how to describe the situation. We're all in the kitchen. There's, like, 3 Ubers outside. One of the Ubers, like, only can, like, is gonna have, like, 2 people. And she goes up to one of the girls on the trips and she goes, you are gonna have to be in the Uber by yourself with her friend, because we think you've been, like, really, like, disrespectful throughout this trip. Something like that. Definitely ruder words than that. Definitely way worse. I don't remember exactly what was said because I was so shocked and confused what was happening, because it was said so, like, just straightforward that the one girl that she was saying it to did nothing wrong. So I was like, and, like, the only person that ruined the trip was, like, her friend. So I was, like, so confused, like, what was happening. And then there was, like, this big fight, and they're like, you said I'm autistic. Like, what? Like, I had no idea what was going on, to be honest. But there was this huge fight, and these 2 girls ended up leaving, getting in that Uber, crying, and then ended up changing their flight and also flew home that day. Now, the couple people left ultimately ended up going to the next city. I heard it was not a fun time, which makes sense. And then there was a big fight saying, like, everyone deserves a refund because we did nothing. It wasn't worth this much money, whatever. So the guy who put on the trip was like, I'll give everyone $500 refunds, right? I'm pretty sure I'm, like, the only person who didn't get a refund, and I'm, like, the closest friend on that trip. So it just goes to show, like, how much I just got taken advantage of in that friendship, whatever you want to call it. Because, like, the girls that, first of all, I left earlier than anybody, and I'm the closest one out of everybody. I pay for all the trips. I do so much content for these trips, and I don't get any refund. So after that, I was just like, this is such, like, a transactional relationship at this point, and I'm not really getting anything in this transaction. So I don't even know if I would say that. So the only other time I went on a trip after that was to Cabo, and that was only because it was 8 girls that I personally invited, and I invited Mel and Reba, and they had not done a trip like this before. They'd never been to Cabo, so I wasn't going to take that experience away from them just because I got into a fight with my friend. So it was a free trip, all expense paid, luxury trip for all of us. I was like, you know what, we're just going to hang with the girls and have a good time. So that's what we did. And it was a good time. I have no horror story from that trip. It was really fun. And that is the last time I ever, like, did anything regarding that business, that company, anything. I was done a long time ago. And I just somehow, like, always would get roped in. And I just feel like every single experience I would get lied to, stealed from, like, talked shit about, like, in terrible sleeping conditions. Not terrible, obviously we're in a beautiful villa, but I'm just saying, compared to what I was paying, compared to what other people were paying, I was just getting very much taken advantage of, and it's just something that ever since I let that go in my life, it got muffy in my life is so much happier, and I'm, like, just so, muffy. Yeah, I'm just so grateful, that things happen the way they did. But I did end up leaving out like 5 or 6 stories. One of them was really big that I left out. I talked about it in my live a little bit, like just for like 2 seconds. But if you guys want a part 2, let me know. I know this is double the time that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be an hour. It's 2 hours. But if you guys want a part 2, let me know because I do have more horror stories, unfortunately. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys watch the whole thing, you guys are such a real one. And I love you so much. Make sure you guys go over to my IG page, all my other socials. They're all KG Carlson, KAYG Carlson, CARLSON. Turn on notifications, hit the like button, and hit the subscribe button. I have another podcast I'm going to film for you guys tomorrow. It's going to be a Q&A. So, I mean, it'll be too late for you to comment questions, but there'll always be another Q&A, so feel free to comment questions. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in my next one. Mwah. Say bye, Muffy. Bye.